Hello friend, Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. And yes, as I promised, I am doing a Q&A here. You have sent in your questions. I got a lot of emails of people sending things. They didn't put it, I don't think, in the comments because some of them were pretty intense. A lot of different questions and such. So I've got a whole list of things that people asked about. And I want to be honest with you. And that is, I take each question very, very seriously. I know what it was like when we first came here, and we knew absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, when we came here our first time, we came for 8 days and got nothing accomplished. It was really disappointing because financially, we were living on one Social Security check. So getting here was just a real challenge for us. So each one of the questions that each of you, for one, I appreciate. And I'm gonna do my best to get through this as quick as I possibly can for you. So let's go. All right. How much pesticides on the fruits and the vegetables, or are they organic? I would say yes. You'll find those that are organic, and you'll find those that, well, I can't say that necessarily. I'm not personally aware of where they're just organic or where the farms are that might use pesticides. I've been told that a lot of the greenhouses here are organic and they don't use pesticides. So we've been here now for three years, and I've never had a bad fruit or vegetable at all. But I would say a lot of the things here are more on the natural side, more than the natural side of things. Is it safe to drive in Mexico? Personally, I don't have an issue with it. I know that there are folks that come that are coming for my relocation service or exploratory tour, and they want me to drive, and that's fine. But I don't see it as being a big deal. The first time that we came, I was told so many times about how terrible Guadalajara was. So we took the bus that goes to Guadalajara. It's an hour ride. And I was blown away. I couldn't figure out what everybody was having such of an issue about. I mean, today I've driven there a bunch, many times. So to me, it's not a big deal, but I know to some it is. So, and some of you will be surprised. You hear about it, how bad it is, and you'll find out that it's not that bad. Or you'll get told that there's a lot of vicious street dogs here. And I will let you know there aren't. I've never seen one vicious dog, not one. Now, Barbara's a dog lover. She's a rescuer and such. And when we came our first time to check it out, that's one of the things we got told, and we couldn't figure out where the dogs were at. So, it isn't like what people say. And I'll let you know this up front. You've got to be careful of the voice that you listen to. Because if you're watching Facebook or you're looking at social media and all, just realize there's a lot of people who put stuff on Facebook that aren't even here, but have an opinion. And opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. But you probably think some people have 2 or 3. Okay, let's get going here. I've seen that I've seen that there are YouTube channels at Lake Chapala that I don't feel want me moving there. And you're right about that. It blows my mind. I cannot believe people can be so selfish, but it's just the way it is. People are people. And yes, I believe that there's some YouTubers here that just don't want anybody else to move here. And that bugs me because everybody has their own reasons of coming here. And why shouldn't they be able to live their best life the same way as somebody that got here years ago? I mean, how do locals feel about the gringos? Now, I actually sent a message back to this person, but here's actually the real question. How do the expats feel about the Mexicans? I think I even said something about this on a recent video. The The Mexican people are very gracious. They're very hardworking. Little things mean a lot to them, especially when it comes to money. But just thought. Our housekeeper was here yesterday, and I didn't even know this, but her birthday was yesterday. And Barbara went and got her a bouquet of flowers inside of like a vase, had a balloon that said happy birthday on it and a card. And I actually thought she was going to start crying. You know, the little things in life sometimes mean the most to people. And it doesn't matter which country you're in. And they're very grateful here. I've never seen one Mexican that said bad things about gringos. I'll say bad things about gringos. I get frustrated. I get frustrated on Facebook. And it's not that I'm on Facebook, because I'm not. Barbara's on it, and I know that she goes through things, but I get people sending me emails. I get people commenting to me. I get people that I've spoken to before that are calling me because they're looking at coming now, and they want to know what about this or this. They read, I mean, it's a lot of it's a bunch of bunk. I mean, just ridiculous. So, as expats, we need to be very grateful for the Mexicans that they allow us to be here. They're friendly people, hardworking. And the better question is, how do we feel about them? And that's where we need to really be watching ourselves in regards to how we feel and what we say. I'm looking at coming down there and starting a business. What kind of a business would you recommend that I start? I came here to retire. And I didn't realize how much of an effort and everything was by doing YouTube. I never thought about doing YouTube when I got here. When I was coming here, I'd love business world. I wanted to come and just relax. And I've not done a very good job at that. If you're coming and wanting to do a business, I would, if it was me, what I would say is have a business that's actually going to be for the expats. Because expats will always be here. So I think one business is a good business here to be in is a good restaurant. A good restaurant. And you know something else? If you're going to own a restaurant here, you've got to be a really good person. I cannot believe the number of people that I've spoken to that own restaurants here that are Americans. Gosh, blows my mind. It blows my mind. Just nasty, not friendly, kind of like a entitlement when it comes to being a business owner, expecting things to be like they are in the States. Anyway, if you're looking at coming and having a business here, you know what? Why don't you email me back or comment to me or something about that question, and I can maybe talk to you more about it on the phone. But I would say if you're looking at a business, remember you got to get a different type of a visa. Visa's got to also be a work visa. So that's one thing that you want to make sure of. And if you're going to do that when you come down, if you're coming down to see my immigration attorney, you just want to make sure to let her know that you're also looking at wanting to have a business down here also and what you need to do. And she can point you in the right directions. I've seen her do it before with folks, so I know she knows how to do that. Mosquitoes. Now, I had several people talk about the mosquitoes, and I don't know why. I mean, the mosquitoes that you see here, that you're around, are male mosquitoes. They're called bobos here. Male mosquitoes don't bite. Now, I know that there are people who talk about the dengue fever, and I've not met one person that's had it. And I know that when you get bitten by a mosquito, it takes somewhere between 4 and 8 days, I believe it is, for you to start feeling sick. I've not personally known of anybody that's had dengue fever. But the majority are bobos. And you can see them when it's the rainy season like it is now, you can see them because they're kind of all in the air. And if it's a little bit on the humid side, sometimes you see them even more. But for the most part, they don't bite. And so mosquitoes I've never seen as being a big deal here. And I know there's a lot of other people that never seen that being an issue either. What are the temperatures there? I heard that it can be really hot. It depends who you talk to. The average here is 68 to 72 degrees. That's average year round. We've been in the 65s. We've been in the 68s. We've been in the high 70s. We're not in the hundreds by any means. We're a long ways away from them. So people come here for a reason, just like we did. The weather is unbelievable. And in the rainy season like it is right now, it rains hard at night. And then during the day, you come out, it's blue sky, and it's wonderful. Absolutely gorgeous. What's the water quality like? Now, somebody didn't say, is it regards to lake or is it regards to drinking water? Drinking water, well, let me put it this way. We live in a gated community. The gated community actually has a large well that, from my understanding, is really deep. The water's been tested twice in Guadalajara, and we can drink it right out of the tap. You can go over just a little bit to our east and find out that you can't do that. If you're in one of the lower areas, or La Floresta, or you could be in Riberas, Ajijic. I mean, there's gonna be places that are older homes and you're not able to drink the water. So I would say we get these big 5-gallon containers with water, and that's what we've been doing since we've been here. I mean, we can drink a tap, but we brush our teeth and all with it. But there isn't the requirement that you hear about not drinking the water, and that's really the best way to go. And it's real inexpensive to get getting the 5-gallon bucket, 5-gallon bottles of water. Best way to go to be safe. So that's the water deal. And if you're asking about the lake, just know that the lake's not poisoned. The lake isn't. I mean, I just saw something today that somebody forwarded me from Facebook like a week ago. I just can't believe people say things the way that they say them, and I can't believe that they say it without any kind of backing. The lake is not, I mean, am I going to go drink the water in the lake? No. Am I going to go swim in the lake? No. But you know what? I just did a video with activities on the lake, sailboats. There were kids playing in the lake. There was even adults in the lake. There were guys out there fishing. They had this big round net that they throw out. I mean, there's a lot of activities that take place in the lake. The lake is not polluted. It's terribly false when people say that. It is not. There's a lot of treatment plants. The main place where the water comes from is the Lerma River, which is at the east end of the lake. There was a time where it was very polluted, but that's been 25, 30, 40 years ago. Now there's a bunch of treatment plants before it gets here. And then before it's pumped out to Guadalajara, which we supply them with 85% of their water, it goes to another treatment plant that's actually in Jocotepec before it even gets to Guadalajara. So, I mean, the lake's a freshwater lake. So, when it comes to lake stuff, just know, and no, they do not feed the fish at the restaurants. All that stuff, bunch of false stuff. Okay. Police corruption, bribery. Does it happen here? I've heard of it. It hasn't happened to us. We've not been pulled over by a police officer. We've not been bribed. Have I known other people have? Yes. And in those situations, I think some things could have been done better by them. Sometimes people put themselves in a bad spot. And I just think that you have to live here with good thoughts and attitudes, and just be a good person here. Be a good person. Mexican economy going bad. Now the Mexican economy is not going bad. There was just an election. The reason that we see right now that the that the exchange rate is right around 20 pesos per dollar is because of same things that the political scene here and the political scene in the States. So what's happened because of the financial part of it, the dollars gain more ground in Mexico because the peso is less. But it doesn't mean that that's crashing. That's not at all what it means. I know of folks, I made a note here, I know of folks that have $500,000 invested here. I think the top one, I think right now is about 1.5 million that they have invested. And they're getting about 12% on their money. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I also know people that are investing money here of, 200,000, 250, 100,000. So I don't see the banking system or the economy going bad at all. As a matter of fact, one of the pluses is we as expats, we actually bring into the local economy, we bring in over $500 million every year. That really takes care of this North Shore of Lake Chapala. So that is a big deal. And that's one of the reasons too why you don't hear about crime here, because the government wants to keep it really safe. That's why you always see the police cars and trucks and SUVs and all. They always have the lights going, letting people know that they're here. So just know that things here are solid, and there's a lot of good happening. A lot of good happening here. One here it says, I hear that real estate prices are on their way up. Here's what I say about that. It depends on who you talk to. It depends on when you talk to them. And another question is, are they a realtor? I'm not a realtor, but I was in real estate at one time, but not anymore. But are prices on the rise? I would say yes to that. And because there are a lot of people that want to move here. I mean, I literally, in the last probably 15 months now, I've been, I think it's with 104 couples now, 104 couples that I've actually gone out with my relocation service and been with them and give them the exploratory tour of what this place is like. Answered all their questions. Literally give them boots on the ground. And by the first day, they're just like swimming. I mean, they got so much information from me. But that's why it's 2 days. So, but I would just tell you, 72 of those couples have moved here already. Already have moved here. So, well, we came here our first time, April of 2021, and we were here on the 18th of April, and then we moved here. We drove into our condo that we were renting. We drove in on the last day of May 2021. So we've been here just over three years. Okay, enough of that one. Let's see here. This was one. So I've got one person asking me about, I'm having a hard time trying to get qualified to getting my visa. So let me share this with you. This is actually, I did a video on this. This is actually a document. This is actually from the Mexican government, the immigration law. And in this immigration law, there is article number 54. So this is the front page of it. Then this is article 54 in Spanish. And I've got article 54. I had my immigration attorney actually translate it to English. Article 54 says the status of permanent resident will be granted to the foreigner who is located in any of the following cases. Item number 3, that they are retirees or pensioners. That means you either are retired, have Social Security coming in, you've got a pension, who receive from a foreign government or international organization or private company. So that's Social Security, that's a pension, for services rendered abroad, and income that allow that allow them to live in the country. What does that mean? That means that, now again, this is Mexican law, immigration law. So what my immigration attorney told me, she's very familiar with the law. And she says, yes, that's very correct. The thing is getting the Mexican consulate, whatever one that you go to in the States, Canada, that it's up to them to be willing to actually allow you in, allow you to get a temporal or permanente. But you know what, if you're persistent about it, I would just, and what I would do is, I did a video on it. I would go watch that. I would download the document that's actually on there. I gave the link to the site and everything. And if this is you, make sure you go get that. If it's something you didn't think about, but you'd like to know more about, go watch that video, because it's a video I definitely did. Here's one that this person actually wrote more of an email to me. And I got to tell you, my heart really goes out to these kind of folks. I know what it's like losing someone in your life. I was in a marriage. It was a terrible marriage. It was for 30 years. It still affects me today, even after I've been divorced since 2011. One of the most difficult things I had to do was go through the pain of losing. Now, terrible marriage, that person isn't there anymore, but you have a big hole in your heart that you long for somebody to fill. I think this person recently lost, I think they lost their husband. And they want to know about finding love here. And I see it time after time. I find couples, or I'm out and about and people, you know, they, hey JB, and go over and get talking and, you know, let me know that they appreciate the video I did on finding love at Lake Chapala. And I hear, I mean, I've got spectrums. I had one guy, I was at a restaurant, he came, we got talking, I found he was about 81 years old, and he had a gal he was dating who was 26. But you know what, I hear that a lot here. I hear guys that, you know, they're on their older side, they've got money, and I think it's a real attraction, not only in the States, but also in Mexico. And the older guys, you know, they're looking for someone to take care of them. And so the age differences, I've seen them all over the place. I mean, my first wife was 15 years my senior. We were married 30 years. Today, Barbara's actually 9 years my senior. So I see it here. And can you find love? Absolutely. I did a video on that. And so I'd like to encourage you, you being the one that actually reached out to me about that. Let me just share some real quick points about that. I mean, when I first had to get back in the dating scene, it was really difficult for me, really difficult. I went through a lot of mental anguish and trauma during my marriage. Going out and getting into the dating scene was a very difficult thing for me to do. I could get into more of that. Well, go watch the video because I talked about that. I had a friend of mine tell me I had to kiss a lot of frogs, and I said, I'm not a good frog kisser. But I found out that you just gotta, you know, possibly go out on several dates. But anyway, in fact, I'll let you know this. Barbara and I met online. We've been together ever since our second date. Ever since, got married 2 months later. So it does work, and it was online. So we both knew we wanted. That was in 2015. I got divorced in 2011. She had lost her husband, I think, 2 years before we got married. So anyway, so don't put yourself under a lot of pressure. Just be relaxed, because the right person will come along. Picture it as a test drive. You know, you'll go out with somebody, or you go to get together over coffee or whatever, and just find out if they've got qualities you like. That will help you prevent disappointments. Don't give up. Love yourself for who you are. Learn from your past relationships. We are all wired differently. Some want to be alone. Some don't want to be married again. Some were like me, had that huge hole. Maybe you can learn from my experience. So that's about finding love here at Lake Chapala. Yes, you can find it. Do people really find happiness at Lake Chapala? Yes to that. Now, I did a video also on this some time ago, but here are some keys about finding happiness at Lake Chapala. Feeling like you're living the life you wanted, going with the flow and the willingness to take life as it comes, feeling that the conditions of your life are good, enjoying positive, healthy relationships with other people, making new friends, feeling that you've accomplished what you want in life, feeling satisfied with your life, feeling positive more than negative, being open to new ideas and experiences, practicing self-care and treating yourself with kindness and compassion, experiencing gratitude. That's a big thing. Feeling that you live life with a sense of meaning and purpose, wanting to share your happiness and joy with other people. Remember that. Finding happiness here at Lake Chapala. Yes, it happens. I've had several people ask me what are key things about renting a house here. And here's the thing. I wrote some things down here for them. So when you're watching this, this is my answer back to you. For one, have you done your homework? Have you spent time in the area? If you've not been here, you've got to visit here first. I don't tell anybody, just come down here. Now, there are people that do. Absolutely. There are people that do that. They're here and they love it. I've had people buy a house in their second day here. Is it everybody? No. The majority of people aren't that way. But do your homework. That's one of the biggest reasons why I have my my service that I offer, the exploratory service, tour, relocation service. I mean, it's all kind of like into one. What type of climate do you prefer? You want something that's hot and steamy? Well, that's the ocean. If you're looking for a nice mild temperature, kind of like an eternal spring, that's here at Lake Chapala. Do you want to live in a large city or a small city? Do you want to be near English-speaking expats or immerse into the Mexican community where only Spanish is spoken? Do you need to be near an international airport? If you do, great, because Guadalajara is a half an hour away and you can be anywhere that you want in the world. How critical is it to need to have close and easy access to good health care? What is your budget? How important is it staying connected with fast and reliable internet service? Can you do the activities that you love to do? Will you be able to adapt to living in a foreign culture? It's a personal decision. I wrote this person. So those are some of the must-haves when it comes to renting. What's important to you. And if you're that person that sent that, feel free to reach out to me again. We can talk about it more. If you want to reach out, if you're someone that didn't reach out to me by email, it was just a comment. Our email address is JBsBigAdventure521@gmail.com. So Jim and Barbara, so JB's Big Adventure. We moved here May of 2021. So JBsBigAdventure521@gmail.com. What do I find is the 10 biggest fears people moving to Mexico? That's a good question because I actually polled a large group of folks that actually have moved down here, and that was something I gave out to everybody. So here's what I'll read you quickly what their concerns were before they came. Fear of the cartels, crime, safety issues, medical care, independent assisted living, access to quality health care, not being able to speak Spanish. Will that be important? Driving down alone, affordable housing, short-term, long-term, bringing pets down, obtaining a visa, being and living here alone, cell phone service reliable, leaving family behind. Can I live there on Social Security, on my monies? Finding an honest moving company, because that's a big deal here. Transportation issues, adjusting to cultural differences, making new friends, understanding how utilities work here, outages, fast internet speed, water purification, electricity. So those are things that I actually spoke to a group of folks. I mean, I think there was 40 of us there. And those were the top things that people had spoken about that that were their concerns. And you know what was funny was afterwards I says, okay, I've got all these now. Here's what I want to know. If one of those things on that list is actually still a concern to you today, raise your hand. And you know what? Nobody raised their hands. So it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be. Not as bad as they thought it was going to be. Which communities are considered quiet, relatively speaking? Upper San Antonio, upper, lower La Floresta. But here's what I would say. I would say the gated communities. That is like, if you're wanting a place that's the quietest, gated communities. And the quietest ones are the ones that are off the Libramento. And you just don't hear much noise. So that's my answer to that. How is dengue such? Okay, I already went through that one. We're planning on moving from Ecuador. We're planning on moving as soon as. Some questions. Are there any more? Okay. Are there any more conservative Christian communities or evangelical churches in Chapala? Yes, we attend one. Can you get around well without a car? No. I mean, there are folks that come down and we're out on my tour and they says, well, we want to know what it's like here to live here without a car. And so they say, I'm not going to come down with a car. And what do you think they have in a month or two? They got a car. I mean, if you get on the buses, it's the primary way of getting around for the Mexican people. So if you're looking at taking public transportation and such, you're not worried about getting anywhere in a hurry or anything, because we're supposed to be, laid back. Might work out for you. There's private drivers. I've got a whole list of private drivers. There's no Uber here. There's no Lyft. So there's private drivers. There's taxis. I would not live here without a car. I could not live here. And the majority of everybody I know have a car here. There are some that don't, but the majority of people have a car here. How much is a taxi ride? Now, it just all depends on where you're going. I hear it's anywhere between, I want to say I was told 150 pesos and up. So 150 pesos, $6, somewhere in there. Let's see here. How much does it cost to go to Guadalajara? You can get to Guadalajara on the bus. I think it was $6 round trip for Barbara and I. So $1.50 each way, a piece. How much are taxi? Oh, see here, no. Is there a water problem there? Oh, I covered this one already. There was a water. But let me back up here. There are some areas here that are building. They do not have water. There are some areas that actually are still having water trucks trucked in and filling up their tanks. Thank goodness we haven't had that. We've got a well that actually now supplies water to our community, the community next to us, and the community about probably half a mile down the road. So, but yes, they have water issues in Ajijic, and I understand today it's kind of on and off now. I have a friend of mine that was actually, they were out of water. There's a local YouTuber that also had a video that they were out of water, talking about being out of water, and they were getting buckets of 5-gallon buckets out of the pool to flush the toilet and all. We've not experienced that. But again, Ajijic is older. So is it a place that how old is your house? Have you done any kind of upgraded plumbing on it? Then that's the other challenge. And that is the plumbing is all run through the walls and the floors, which are all cement. So then you got to know where in fact is the pipes. I mean, just there's areas that have issues. And a lot of the times they'll always have issues just because the fact that nobody wants to put the money in to get it fixed. So in that regard, yes, there's been issues, but we've never had that issue. Water has always been plentiful for us. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that where we're at. And but I do know there are those that tell me that they've had water issues. With food shortages coming in the U.S., will Mexico be affected? I'm a personal friend of Pancho. Pancho actually owns 2 grocery stores here. He's getting ready to open up his 3rd. And I've never heard him say he has a hard time getting things. His grocery stores are really focused towards the expat. So when you go inside one of his grocery stores, it looks like you're at the States. In fact, the one that's in West Ajijic is the largest one. So his one that's in Roberas, he actually has 20,000 items. The one that's in West Ajijic has over 40,000 items, and it's big. So food shortage, no, that's not ever been anything that's been of a concern here that I've heard anybody talk about. Are conservative ideas and Christian beliefs accepted in Chapala? Yes. Yes, we're Christians. You watch my channel long enough, you'll realize that I live on my faith. You know, one of the reasons why I keep this channel going, one of the reasons why I keep doing videos, is because I feel people need to know. And I would say that one of the neatest things is I've been able to meet people that have come down first from my relocation service, the exploratory tour, and we become friends. They're not churched, and then they want to know, where do we go to church? And then they're going to church. And that's, you know, that's a God thing. And I'm just glad that people can see in my life that that they want to know where we go to church, and now they're going to church. So that's an exciting thing. I'm really excited about that. Also, do you ever need air conditioning? I know it is high elevation, but still. Are there days where it would be nice to have refrigerated air? Yeah, there's some days. Is it a month at a time? No. It might be day here, day there. So the majority of homes here do not have air conditioning. And if they do, for the most part, it's going to be what's called a split, mini split, which is heating and air. But yeah, there's times where having an air conditioner can be of help. But it isn't something everybody has. You know, you open up your windows, the air goes through. Yeah, so that's the answer when it comes to the air conditioning. I had a stroke, so my speech is not good. Is there a place at the lake? Is there a place on the lake where English is spoken a lot? Yes. The major area is going to be Ajijic, San Antonio. That's going to be the major area where English is spoken the most. What beaches are within a few hours drive? Puerto Vallarta is about a 4.5 hour drive from here. Did you consider any other high elevations besides Ajijic? Well, I was raised in Southern California. Barbara and I met in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's a mile high there. So I was already familiar with high elevation. So it wasn't a problem for us. Let's see here. I hear that the lake is poisoned and contaminated. It's a lie. So it's false. That's not in fact the case. The lake is 180 miles around. It is 8 miles across at its widest point. It's 50 miles from end to end. And its deepest point is between 35 and 45 feet. Now, we've been a bit on the lower side right now because last year's rainy season was not a good one. So the lake was really on a low side. But we have had some tremendous rains that, I mean, I ride my bike down to the Malecon, the Chapala Malecon, all the time. And it's just wonderful to see the levels rising. So, and it's not contaminated and poisoned. The water is actually pumped out, providing Guadalajara 85% of its water at 2,500 gallons a second, 24 hours a day. So they would not be poisoning the Mexican people in Guadalajara. Do I see people playing in the water? Yes, I do. In fact, I went and shot a video down there just a few days ago, and there was kids in the water. There was parents in the water. You see the locals. You don't really see the expats. I mean, remember, we're on the older side, so it's not like we're looking at going in the water and swimming around. And people will say, well, it's dirty. Well, it's because of the fact when you're at the shore and it's a silt bottom, the waves are going to stir it up. But you go out 300 feet and it's clear. So, and that's the answer to that. I mean, so yes, I've seen people on the lake. I've seen them do all kinds of sailboats. As I said, I just saw sailboats. I had that in a video I just recently did of sailboats. I saw 2 jet skis. What else have I seen? But I know that these are all folks from Guadalajara. These aren't just the locals in Guadalajara. Are cancer rates higher in the Chapala area compared to the rest of the country? There was somebody saying that people were getting cancer because of the fumes coming off the lake, and that was just a bunch of bunk. So I don't know why people would say that, but they were, and that is in fact not the case. If that was the case, there'd be no expats here. I mean, I wouldn't stay here. I mean, I wouldn't have Barbara stay in here if that was the case. So absolutely not. These are concerns that I have. Should we decide to retire to Lake Chapala, expats are flocking to Lake Chapala. Somebody watch my video. Flocking to Lake Chapala. Yes, there are people that are constantly coming to Lake Chapala. As I mentioned earlier, over the last year and a half, I've got 72 couples that have moved here. Those are couples I know. All the rest of the folks that come here that we see out in the street or we're at a restaurant or whatever, I don't know them. They come here. We've never met. So there's a lot more than 72, but there are a lot that are coming here. Are there Bible study groups? These Christian things are really good. The Bible study groups, Christian ministries, or fellowship in these towns. Absolutely. We have Bible study at our house. At our house. At our church, we used to have Bible study at our house. Bible study at our church. As a matter of fact, we're actually getting ready to start a new Spanish class. So for those of you that want to learn Spanish, and I really tell people, embrace the culture, embrace it. But there's going to be a Spanish class, and I'm so excited about it. Our new pastors are both bilingual, and just a wonderful, wonderful couple. And they're going to be doing Spanish class, and I told her I'm going to get 50 people in the room. So, I mean, I'm really wanting to promote it, that we have a lot of people there. Was wondering about the church services in English. What denominations were there? Every denomination that I know of is in English. I mean, obviously, if it's a Catholic, it's going to be majority of them are going to be in Spanish. Although I believe in IEHEEC, I think it's one service, they have it in English. So that would be kind of of what's here when it comes to the local in that regards. I'm interested in your service. Can you tell me more about it? Yes, I can. You know what? I think this is the page that there was quite a few folks. Let me just go through this real quickly so you know, and the answer to this is going to be, I'm interested in your service. Can you tell me more about it? Basically what it is folks that are coming here to check it out, that watch the channel, hire me. I've got a service that I've been doing now for a year and a half plus. And as I said, 104 couples so far. And it's just been a blessing. It's been a real blessing. Barbara and I, we got more friends here than we ever had in the States. And I take folks out and whatever's important to them. Now I take them through all of the neighborhoods between Ocotepec and Chapala, all of them, pointing things out. The best electricity, the utilities are reliable, and water, and I mean everything else. The safest neighborhoods, what's closer. I mean it's encompassing. I mean there's a lot to it. the grocery stores, the hospitals, the pharmacies, and how much of the medications, and realtors, and where's the best rentals you can find. I mean, all those kind of things. That is all, I do all of that in my service. Now, yes, free resource guide. So I have put together over the last year and a half, or actually the last 3 years, I've put together a booklet. It's called My Best of the Best. And, well, I thought I had one right here. Oh, here it is here. My Best of the Best. And it's my resource referral guide of the best businesses that I refer people to. Because I want to make sure that when I'm referring you to somebody, that they're good people. So right now it's almost 17 pages. That's how many people I've done interviews with. I mean, literally, or we're clients of theirs, or we're customers of theirs, or I've been referred to people by other people that have moved here. I mean, there's just a lot of things that go into that, and it's taken me 3 years to do. It's been a lot of sweat, blood, and tears, I can tell you that. I've had some real disappointments with certain business professionals, and it turns out that, you know, that's what I don't want you to have to go through. I've seen your videos talking about a service. I'm interested in what you do. Okay, so I just shared that with you. If you want to know more about that, please just reach out to me, JBsBigAdventure 521 at gmail.com. JBsBigAdventure, JBsBigAdventure 521 at gmail.com, and we can talk about it. Give me your, in there, include your best contact number. Give me 24 to 48 hours. I will reach back out to you and I'll share it all with you about what it is and what we do and the whole bit. But it's personalized to your needs. What is it's important to you? If you're not coming here and you're not looking at buying a house, I'm not a realtor. I'm not going to sell you a house. You don't have to meet a realtor. It's all about what's important to you when you're coming here. What do you want to be able to fulfill? What do you want to be able to accomplish during your time here that we're together? So grateful for your channel. You said you're a PK. What faith were you raised in? I was raised a Christian Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah, I was raised a PK. Pray for me, I'll get better. If I come to Lake Chapala, do you offer a service that will take me around like a tour to check Lake Chapala out? Absolutely. Does your exploratory tour include meeting an immigration attorney? Absolutely. Do you do rental tours? I'm not a realtor, but I get you in contact with my rental agent. And I can just tell you that we believe in her enough. I've been around her enough. I've seen her character. I've seen her honesty. I have seen how she treats people. Everybody loves her. She has rented people places. She's sold them houses. We think, well, she found us our place. She's actually our Mexican representative for our living will. That's how much we believe in her. So yes, I can get you in touch with a rental agent. Are you a realtor? Absolutely not. I left that some time back in Southern California. If you were to do it all over again, what would you do differently? A lot of things. Wow. You know what? I would say because of just, because I don't want this to be a 2-hour video. I'm trying to make sure it's going to be under an hour. But I want to make sure I took everybody's questions. You got to see all the paper on the floor right now, people's questions that I've been dropping the papers as I'm going through them. One thing is I would have done more research moving down here, but we were in such of a financial strain that I didn't know who to reach out to. And you know what? That is just like, there are so many people that come down here that see my videos about doing a relocation service and figure they can just figure it out. They can just figure it out on themselves. I've never had one person, not one, that has said to me, I could have done this. I could have done all this by myself. Not one. Not one. When I've been here for 3 years, I've invested into this place. I've invested into the marketing place. I mean, to the market. When I'm saying restaurants and knowing the owners of the restaurants and other business people and insurance agents and realtors and rental agents, doctors, dentists, attorneys. I mean, from attorneys down to veterinarians. I mean, I've invested so much time here with a lot of business people. I've been in businesses. I've owned businesses. And so I know what to ask. I know who to be looking for. I know who to talk to. I know what questions to ask. That's what I do on the tour. That, if I was to do it all over again, I would have looked for someone like me. But you know, the sad thing is, there is no one here like me. Let me caveat that. There is a couple, they're both realtors. They do offer a relocation seminar, and it's $1,900. There's another realtor from a different real estate company, and she charges $1,400. You get me for up to 2 days, and mine is only $400. And you're getting me, the guy that you see on YouTube. So if I was to do things over again, I'd find a guy like me, but there wasn't anybody. That was one of the main reasons why I was willing to go ahead and do it. When I came here, when we came down here, I'll just tell you, I suffer from severe depression, PTSD, bipolar, and ADHD. The last thing I was thinking about coming down here was having a YouTube channel. I knew nothing about YouTube. I mean, I know what it was. Before we came down, I'm a golf professional, so I was teaching golf. I had a golf academy with over 100 students, and it just got to the point where I was forgetting things. I'd forget names. I mean, it was just getting bad. And my doctor says, you just need to step away. So we did. And we found this place and loved this place. But there was so much to get to know and try to find out about and reach out to. And I mean, the disappointing thing when I first came here, I knew I was going to need to find somebody that we could get a rental from. We rented a place, but I told Barbara, because she wanted a dog, and the place that we rented would not allow pets. So I told her, after our lease is over, we're going to move somewhere and you can get a dog. So, where was I going with that? Oh, I was looking for a realtor, and I met one guy. And what a disappointment. I mean, I met this guy. This guy is an expat. I could just tell by talking to him, he just didn't really know the area at all. And then he told me, well, you'll be able to find a good realtor. I mean, I knew that he didn't really know much. He said, well, you'll find a good realtor, but just know there's over 250 between Jocotepec and Chapala. That's 20 miles. 250 realtors. He says, yeah, and you know what? They don't have to be certified here. They don't have to take a test. All you need is a business card. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? So when I say that I've got a book that's got the best of the best in it, and people that I have vetted, a lot of them are friends today. Why? Because they're good people. They are good people. They're good human beings. I tell everybody, you know, there's people thinking that I'm coming to them because I want a cut of whatever happens. You know, I send you to my immigration attorney. She doesn't give me something under the table. You know what I tell her? Just do a good job for the people that come here. They need you. You just don't realize how much they need you. Please just take care of them. Realtor, rental agent, doctor, dentist, attorneys, pharmacy. I mean, all I want people to do is just be taken care of. So, all right, let me finish this thing up. Okay, if we were to do it all over again, that's what I've done. I would look for a guy like me, but there isn't a guy here like me. Nobody. Our channel is so much different because of the fact I'm giving you real information that's important to you. You know, what you don't know, you don't know. And what you don't know can hurt you. You know, the big saying is that, you know, what you don't know won't hurt you. That's so false. what you don't know can hurt you. You can come down here like somebody I know. They came down, they rented a place. I says, don't do that. Make sure that that contract goes to that attorney. Didn't do it. So they go rent a place from this person, paying $2,000 a month in one of the gated communities. And they're in this place for a couple of weeks. And his mom came down with him. She fell. And he says, you know what? It's just not level enough here. We need to move somewhere else. So he went to actually get out of the contract. He had signed in the contract three promissory notes. The promissory notes guarantees the owner, the landlord, that they'll get 100% of their money for the length of time that that contract was for. So his was for a year, $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month times 12 months, that's $24,000. He would have had to come up with $24,000 to be able to get out of that contract. But I told him, don't do that. Did anyway, you know? I tell people, don't use that realtor. And they get stung. I said, don't drive down from the border, you know, without taking manual with you or without having manual come down with you. Use somebody else, problems. Or they drive down by themselves. I've got one guy had 3 flat tires on his way down. I mean, I care about you. I don't even know you. I care about you. So that's the reason why I'm even doing all this, is because of the fact I want you to know. You're asking questions, I'm giving you my best answer. I'm sharing the truth with you is what I'm doing. If I was to do it all over again, differently, there you go. Does your service include seeing neighborhoods? Absolutely. That's one of the things we do. One of the major things, I let you know what, you know, places I've rented for, or that house was for sale and sold for this amount, or this is what this place here is renting for, or this is what it rented for. Which places have the best utilities? You get reliable utilities. Anyway, that you mentioned a book. How do I get a copy? Well, you actually get a copy for free when you go out on my tour, because you're meeting people, and I want to make sure you've got everybody's number, everybody's contact information, and those individuals that I've done videos with that you're seeing. You're going to have all their contact information and a link to the video that I did with them. 14, well, it's now going to be 17 pages long. That's how much information there is in it. So that's how you get the book. It's free. And everyone that goes out with me gets a copy of that. You said you have a free book. Okay. You said you have a free book. Can you send me one? Well, if you're going to take my service, you reach out to me and you're going to the service. Absolutely. You're going to get a copy of it. What does the best of the best include? Well, I've gone through that too. Well, friend, we've been together now, I think just under an hour. And I hope that all these Q&As, all these questions and answers were helpful for you. And I hope that it was what you were looking for. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm not one of these guys that, you know, has a YouTube channel that's stuck up or rude or nasty. I'm always warm. You walk up to us and we're at dinner, doesn't matter. I'll say, hey, why don't you pull up a seat? We'll talk anything questions you have, or, you know, I care about people. And more importantly, I care about you. So if you want to reach out, JBsBigAdventure 521 JBsBigAdventure 521 at gmail.com. JBsBigAdventure 521 at gmail.com. Include your best contact number. I promise you, I will not forget about you. I'll reach back out to you. Thank you again for being a part of this community, supporting this channel. We love and appreciate you, both Barbara and I. You have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.